Let me paint a picture for you. Think about the education ecosystem as a large lake, and think of us as practitioners trying to bring about some change in that lake. What we're doing essentially is throwing pebbles in the lake. You're standing in one place, I'm standing in one place, and so are several other people. And sure, our pebbles are making ripples in the lake. You can see them spreading out. We're definitely creating impact in the system. But are we also moving forward? It's like that proverb, if you want to go quickly, then go alone. But if you want to go far, then go together. Now, what if we use those pebbles not just to create ripples of change, but also as stepping stones? You step on the stones that I've thrown, and I step on the stones that you've thrown. And that's exactly why CoLab was started. We saw people creating magic, and we also saw that sometimes we were learning the same things over and over again. We also saw that sometimes we didn't have the right pebbles to throw. And so CoLab was started with the vision of developing collective intelligence in the education ecosystem, where we not only identify these smooth pebbles or solutions, ideas, approaches that have been found to be effective, but we also use each other's pebbles as stepping stones to go far. Let me take an example, a recent example. When this wave of schools reopening began early this year, we spoke to teachers, leaders, parents, and realized that they did not always have a ready reference for maintaining safety in the school, a big concern for all of us. We then researched on school safety, collaborated with other organizations, and developed a simple tool that could be used to get a pulse of the school's safety by anybody within the school. We then tested this tool through about 200 leaders, and then we shared this tool publicly. That's essentially what CoLab does. To borrow from what Tetlock said, as an education lab, essentially we roam freely, we listen carefully, and we consume omnivorously. And from that deep understanding, we develop approaches and ideas that have been tried and tested, and finally share them with the education ecosystem. Like any early stage organization, CoLab has evolved rapidly over the last 2 years. Some things like what problems or challenges we work on, what our solutions look like, what our research looks like, whom we collaborate with has changed. But of course, there have been some things, the heart of the initiative that has remained the same. We continue to believe in the need for trustworthy, evidence-based solutions and resources. We continue to value collaboration and learning with others in the ecosystem. And of course, the value that we place on making knowledge open source. And what we aim to do over the next year or so is to create a really strong base of solutions and research which can be applied to the developing context. We often rely on Western research or resources because there's a lack of such easy to use and open resources for contexts like ours, even though there have been some brilliant initiatives across different aspects of education. And so we'll continue to work as a lab, finding the next set of challenges to work on, learning with other practitioners like you, and creating a strong repository of research and solutions to address education challenges.